Welcome to No Contingencies, a real estate podcast with no filters, no BS, and no safety nets. We are now on the air. Yay. I'm Liz Ryan.
And I'm Parker Pemberton.
And I'm Nicholas Warpole, officer in charge of, what's the word for it? Bigging people up.
Love it. Welcome. Today's guest we are super excited about. This is someone many of you already know, or at the very least have probably scrolled past more than once. He's a seasoned real estate agent with years of experience in the field and a reputation for being steady, smart, and consistently effective for his clients. Beyond the transactions, though, he's built a powerful presence online, connecting with more than 64,000 followers through home tour videos that are equal parts informative, entertaining, and refreshingly honest. Please welcome to the show, Ryan Ecklund.
Welcome, Ryan.
Hooray.
Right,
That's a nice effect. Thanks,
Yeah,
Nick.
I like that.
Oh, I'd hear that if I had him. Oh,
You
yeah.
would.
I heard
Yeah.
through Ryan's, actually.
Okay, good.
Yay.
On today's show, which is episode 5 of our podcast, we will hear some hot takes on current events, get to know Pemberton real estate agent Ryan Ecklund, explore some real estate topics with Parker, and check out some adorable pictures of our agents and their families with Santa and Mrs. Claus. So let's get started. As always, we will start with some real estate headlines that we've got queued up. Nick will show them to you, and then Parker, once it shows up on the screen, you're going to read it and give us your hot take in 30 seconds or less.
Ready to rip?
Sounds good.
All right, here we go.
Zillow shares are getting crushed. Here's why. CNBC. This was actually really interesting. The reason that was happening was that Google decided to change their algorithm in certain cities and start showcasing homes at the very top of their search. So in the past, when you would search like homes for sale in Seattle, Zillow, Redfin, Trulia, all those sites would come up first. They actually mimicked what the travel industry did, which is why I think this is so interesting. And they started to put homes at the top. And if you click those homes, that takes you into the website or the promoter or whoever's promoting that home tour, if you're following me.
Yeah, the sponsors.
The sponsors, yeah. So essentially what they did, the headline is a little misleading because Zillow shares get crushed all the time and then they rebound and you'd come back, and that's a whole nother story. But if you look at the travel industry, they've been doing this for a long time. So if you search like Los Cabos, family-friendly resorts, Los Cabos, because we just did that, you will get resorts at the top that will have pictures.
Yeah.
So this has been done. I think the reason why investors are selling those shares, which is why it's getting crushed, is because they're saying Zillow is now getting into the portal wars. So, Google is getting into the portal wars. So they're saying Google, with their presence, is going to come in and take some of that market share online from Zillow.
Yeah.
So whether or not that happens, I guess we'll find out. They're really just trying this in certain markets, and in other markets, they're not. So,
Right.
Just bigger question is how effective is PPC these days, which is pay-per-click Google advertising. Because at the end of the day, like the travel industry, I think the big dogs will end up actually just throwing way more money at Google in order to get their photos at the top if this is a program that Google sticks with.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yep, it does.
So I think it's like, oh, it's because of the class action suit. No, it was actually because Google is trying that in certain markets.
Right.
And it's going to box out guys like Ryan and I who can't go in there and compete with Zillow's pockets.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that's what's coming down the road.
Yep, I think that makes sense. Interesting. All right, Nick. Headline number 2. Here we go.
Number 2 coming up.
And that was not 30 seconds, but
That's fine.
That's okay.
a
It was
bulk
good
of
one.
Minnesota's housing market is slowing down. That is also so funny because
I
this
knew you'd
morning
like
in the
that.
gym, right after I got dressed, a random guy that I see from time to time just came up to me and said, "Hey, are you in real estate?" And I said, "Yeah." And like, you don't want to talk to people in the locker room.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's not exactly where you like want to start conversations. But
No.
he said, "Well, my sister told me there's more homes coming off the market than ever before." And I looked at my watch and I said, "Yeah, because it's December 17th." Yeah, those houses that were on the market all year that haven't sold have said, "Hey, the holidays are here. It's
Right.
colder than shit outside. Let's wait until the spring."
Yeah.
They said, "Yeah, my sister's really trying to time the market." I said, good luck with that. And that was the extent of our conversation. So I think that that's what that headline is basically trying to say is that, right?
Right. Well, and I mean, I think when people see those headlines, they don't think about the practical reality that we just take for granted of when your home is on the market, it has to be showing ready at all times. And you can't be in the middle of Christmas party A or, holiday gathering B. Like you have to, it's a massive disruption to your lifestyle. And also there's not quite as many people out looking at homes the week of Christmas. So
I was going to say supply and demand of 101 right there.
absolutely. But to put it in a headline like that makes it sound as if the whole market is changing. But really it's just a practical reality.
You're exactly right.
As usual.
That's my thought on that.
Yeah. All right. Headline number 3. We're ready.
No big mortgage rate shifts expected after mixed job reports. Okay, so the Fed met. They actually did lower the rate 1/4 point, which I think was the 3rd time.
Yep.
Which I lost my bet, by the way, on Kalshi.
Yes. So last week, Parker, did you watch this?
I heard. Yeah.
Yes. Parker bet that against the rising tide. Just
Well, it's actually called fading the public, but
thank you.
yeah, 3% chance that he was not going to lower rates, and so I said, hey, let's roll the dice.
Right.
We noticed that you weren't on Kalshi this week betting again. But
Not on mortgage rates. Yeah. That site
Not
is
yet.
fascinating, by the way,
Yeah.
for many reasons. But so the market had priced in that cut, which is why we don't see rates, plummeting
Right.
at the moment. But I think the important thing to keep in mind, I read an article early today about consumer spending and consumer debt. There's $1.3 trillion of credit card debt out there right now. And when they lower rates, they are essentially saying the economy is getting a little worse.
Yeah.
Right? It's either unemployment rises. They look at the CPI, which
Inflation.
is inflation. Yeah. And then they say, we're going to lower those rates to make it a little bit easier for people to borrow money. So the bottom line here that I look at is look at credit card rates, look at car rates, look at other, outside of real estate, look at other costs of borrowing, because I think you're going to see those rates start to come down with this last announcement, which will make the biggest impact. If you have a car loan at 24%, you could probably refinance to 15%, which I sure hope that no one listening to this has a car loan at 24%, but
Yeah.
certainly credit card,
Yeah. No, that's right. That's right. Or if they do, let's hope it's not on a Honda Odyssey minivan like mine with a fair amount of rust on it.
Yeah, and not to get controversial politically, but like, do we even know what's accurate these days with mixed job reports? Like, it
I'm
seems
not
like
even
for
sure
the
what that
last
means.
couple of years, those have been inaccurate in general. So,
Yeah. They've had to go back and amend a number of them.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Difficult.
But I did see unemployment was like 4.8% or something.
Yeah.
Which, if we're standing in a grocery store and there's 100 people, that means 5 people don't have jobs, which is, in my opinion, not that bad, as long as those 5 people are searching for jobs.
Yeah.
It's not 2%, it's not 3%, and it's not 15%. So, yeah, these kind of things happen all the time, and these headlines love to point some of those things out.
Yeah, and we've talked in our company meetings all the time about the fact of a rate cut. By that point, the market has already incorporated that into their actual changes. So the moment of the rate cut is less important than the announcement that it's coming.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, the bigger thing to forecast is that May deadline on the Fed chair, Jerome Powell. I mean, his seat is up.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that he's not going to stick around, to say that, nicely.
Yeah.
Trump's been pretty clear about that. And so there will be some change there. And when the change comes in, that could impact the market.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right.
I mean, I think we're both cheering for lower interest rates in housing, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think that is the thing that will put more people into the market and create a little bit more affordability within housing, which I think is a much bigger challenge that can't be fixed with just one adjustment. So,
Right.
Yeah, I think that lower rates will help everybody, particularly those who are trying to get into it for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it might loosen up some inventory.
Yes.
For those people sitting on 3.5%, 4%. They might say, rates are 5.25%. It's time to do it.
Yeah.
And that's really what we need is we need more inventory.
Yeah. Because the inventory is the canary in the coal mine with regard to buyer activity.
Right.
Don't hold me to this, but I saw a Altos Research graph yesterday. It was across the United States, which I should share with the company, but it shows where each major city is in relation to COVID in terms of inventory, and we're still like 29% below
Really?
inventory levels when we went into COVID. So, yeah,
That's interesting.
That's the real challenge right now.
Yep. All right. Well, those were our hot takes with Parker and Ryan. That was exciting. Let's dig deeper about Ryan because that's what we're all here to do.
Yeah.
Super exciting. Ryan, start us off. Just tell us, what were you doing before real estate?
Yeah. So before real estate, I spent about 17 years in the restaurant business.
Ooh.
Was in that business for a very long time. Still have a ton of great friends who are in that business. Met my wife in that business.
Really?
Yeah.
Aw.
We were both working in restaurants in Minneapolis at the time
Okay.
and slowly started moving a little bit further east. And now we live about 8 minutes away from the Wisconsin border. So,
Love it.
yeah. But worked in a ton of different kinds of restaurants.
Okay.
And did a lot of different roles within those places. I really did everything other than cook the food and wash the dishes. And when the dishwasher wasn't there or didn't show up, somebody's got to wash the dishes.
Right.
So learned a lot of great, what I would call soft skills in that
Absolutely.
business. You're going to learn a lot about how people behave and really about how people need to be led through an experience.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people who go to a dining environment, whether it's a super nice restaurant or just your average family restaurant, they don't really understand that they're not one entity within that space.
Yeah.
There is typically a long list of reservations for that night. There could be 200 people coming in that day or that evening for service. And these folks need to be made to feel special, recognized, they need to feel seen, and they need to feel catered to.
Yeah.
But you also have to move them consistently and sort of silently along through the process so that they're not taking up a table that is needed in another 2 hours.
Right.
So you learn a lot of rolling management skills where you have to constantly update that action item list to make sure everyone is getting the things they need.
Okay. Here's my follow-up question. I have many. Parker does too, and you jump in whenever you want because mine are mostly goofy. Did you watch The Bear?
I've watched a couple of episodes
Okay.
of it.
I watched that and I'm like, oh, there's just so much that's happening there and it's so great and so dynamic. Do you watch it and you're like, that's kind of fake?
No, I think it largely seems pretty true to life.
Okay, good.
I think it'll depend drastically on the kind of restaurant that you work in.
Okay.
I've worked in some of those restaurants that are a little bit more fast and furious.
Yeah.
I've also worked in restaurants where, and my wife has too, that again, we met in that business, where you walk into the kitchen and the kitchen is silent.
Ooh.
There's no calling anything. So the expo is getting the orders. The other side of the line is getting those orders. And there's no talking when you go into the kitchen. Okay. Now, there's also kitchens where you walk in and it's a 5-alarm fire.
Right.
So, and that doesn't necessarily mean that the wheels are falling off.
Yeah.
It means that there's just a lot of frenetic communication happening. Both have value.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
both have such a great analogy to real estate.
Yeah, they really do. So
Right.
The Bear is pretty close to reality in some situations.
I am so relieved to hear that.
Yeah.
What comes to mind when I was just listening to Ryan was the way that you lead the client, right?
Yes.
In real estate or in restaurants, whether you're the GM, you're the bartender, you're the server, like if you sit there if you order your food and for 45 minutes you wait for your food and you don't know where it is, situations build up.
Yeah.
Same thing in real estate. If you don't update your clients in a respectable amount of time, if you're not leading them properly, you're going to have issues on your hands. But then I also came back to the last time we went out to dinner where the server came up and said, "Hey, just want to let you know, I saw your food come across the cook line, whatever it's called, right?
Yeah.
And it should be up in about 5 minutes." It's like, "Oh, well, that's great. We've been waiting," and she just came and forecasted that expectation to us. And so I don't know why that just came to mind, but it's the service industry, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
real estate, a lot of times, is mostly service,
Yeah, I
not
mean,
sales.
exactly. The sales part is a product of good service rather than the other way around. At
Ooh,
least
that's
for
good.
me.
That's what a what a great little snippet. Say it again.
I think we have a reel on our hands
I know.
right there. Yeah.
Yeah, the real estate business and sales in general, service has to be the thing that leads the sale. You can't start with the sale. You can't
Right.
start with a sales mentality
Yeah.
because people will either smell it on you a mile away, and they're going to feel like you're in it for you
Yeah.
instead of being in it for them and with them.
Right.
So sales are a product of that service rather than the opposite.
I love that.
So another question that comes to mind is just, in my role in real estate, I interview a lot of people. I talk to a lot of agents who are thinking about coming over here or just getting into the industry.
Yeah.
At some point, everybody that gets into real estate has to take that leap of faith.
Yeah.
And in 17 years in that business, you had to say, hey, today's my last day in the restaurant business. I'm taking that leap of faith. So tell us about that.
Yeah. So I started getting my real estate license, and I actually got interested in real estate literally while working at a restaurant on a shift.
Okay.
So I waited on a group of gentlemen. I think there were 5 or 6 of them. It was the table was table number 1 in that restaurant. And they were enjoying dinner, and I gave them the service that I try to give everybody. I really try to see around the corners of what's going to be needed in 5 minutes,
Yeah.
which also translates really beautifully to real estate. But one of the gentlemen came up to pay the bill. I was behind the bar, which was rather close to the table I was waiting on. And he brought it up to me, and I said, oh, great, I'll take care of this for you right away. He said, by the way, you're great. And if you ever were thinking about a career change, you would be really great in the mortgage business.
Really?
So I took him to heart. He left his card for me, and I sort of thought about it for a few days, and then I finally decided to call this guy. And what I realized, and this should have been, I should have learned my lesson at that point, where I tried to get a hold of a mortgage broker to ask him some questions, and I didn't get him on the phone, which happens,
Yeah.
with some frequency. So I thought about it, and I went, well, I'll explore this on my own. And there are a few different resources, of course, to get your license. You can do it in person. You can do it online, which is ultimately the role that I took.
Yeah.
So I got my license at my kitchen table on my laptop while my boys, who were very, very young at the time, I think we only had one. I think our second was on the way.
Okay.
And that's how I got my license during nap time, where I would crank out an hour or two here and there, and it took me a while, but I got it done. So
So you get your license, amazing. Then how do you start finding business?
right. So I mean, to go back to your question there, how do you make that decision to jump? What is it? Sometimes it's an exterior event where you have to figure that out. I did what I don't recommend a lot of other people do, which is make that transition a little bit more slowly.
Okay.
And I tried to do real estate kind of part-time while also maintaining an income from the restaurant
Sure.
business. Restaurant work is a little bit hand to mouth. You largely live on your tips. Your paycheck really isn't part of the equation for most people.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to let go of that entirely. And what I realized is that I needed to jump off the cliff and figure out how to sew the parachute before I hit the ground. And that's
like
and
that.
that's kind of what I did. I finally made that decision. I had a couple of transactions under my belt. I was sort of rolling with things, and I went, if I don't do it, I'm probably never going to, and I can't give my focus and attention to both of these things 100% if I can't do two things well this way. So I had to jump.
Yeah.
So I did, and that was the last shift I ever worked in a restaurant.
Wow.
Well, and now looking back, certainly there's a lot of, this industry is difficult in a lot of ways, but you look at you choosing your hard, right?
Yeah.
You chose to leave that role, and now you look at the life that you live. All things considered, are you glad you made that decision?
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah, I would not have the level of internal clarity about who I am and who I'm not. I wouldn't be able to provide the life that I feel really lucky to be able to give to my wife and our kids.
Yeah.
None of that I wouldn't be sitting here with you guys. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing or trying to grow in the way that I'm growing professionally and personally. I would probably still be working in a restaurant trying to figure out how to break through to that next version of what I wanted. So yeah,
And it's just acknowledge how hard that decision is, because a lot of times people get to a certain level of income and you can make good money serving.
oh yeah, and I did. It was a problem for my mother for a good while. She's like, when are you going to go and like do something? When are you going to get a real job?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm doing pretty okay. I'm working in some pretty top level places, and it's feeling good, and it is a career. But there's no 401k. There's no retirement plan. You either get too old to do it, or you just get burnt out. The restaurant business is a bit of a vampire.
Yeah.
So you have to choose how long that is going to serve you. And it got to that breaking point where I needed to transition back out. Otherwise, I would end up doing it for my whole life, which isn't a bad decision. But I was also very clear on what I wanted, what we wanted to be able to grow our family and take things to a different place. So
It's very relatable because I was in the caddy industry in my golf days, and caddying is the exact same thing. You go out there, you service a group of people for 4 or 5 hours, and you get cash. And a lot of times you can get up to, a lot of those caddies are making $100,000, and they're not claiming that on their income, right? Because it's cash. And this is, by the way, 15 years ago, but and it's a hard jump to make, because you're saying, hey, I'm making $100,000 unreported, so it's like you're making 170,
right.
and it's a pretty good life. But yeah, I am going to hit my end of the road at some point. It might be at 45. It might when I get a knee injury. It might be when I want to have kids, and and I can't do this. So everybody at some point in their life is faced with one of those jump leap moments.
Yeah.
And what advice would you give to somebody who might be listening to this that might also be in that situation?
Yeah. Great question. I think that it's really circumstantial for everyone.
Yeah.
I think what I would say is that it's always better to have tried and have it not work out, because it means at minimum you're going to land in a different place.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let go of this piece. I'm going to transition into something different for a job or a career or a hobby or whatever the case may be. And if you don't reach that goal, that's fine. But it will mean you're going to land in a different place. You're going to meet different individuals who have different perspectives along the way.
Yeah.
And you might not have ended up where you thought, but you will be in a different place. And there's going to be opportunities there if you're bold enough to look for them.
Right. Well,
I love that. Yeah, you'll never know. And I have an incredible risk tolerance. So for me, it's like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. And Ed, can I say that? I'm sorry.
Ed's not in his office, so he's okay with it. Oh, he's back.
Oh, okay. That just came out.
The kids are at school, so I think
But it's like, go all in. Take the leap and then run 1,000,000 miles per hour and do everything it takes. Because a lot of times, 60 days in, they have people that get into real estate now. We're talking about, they have, if they do that, they have 3, 4, 5 pendings, and they're like, oh my gosh, I should have done this a long time ago.
Yeah.
But it really does take that all in. You just got to do it moment. Leaving EXP and going independent was one of those moments.
Yeah.
Getting out of sales was one of those moments. Leaving caddying was one of those moments. Just like you, I loved caddying.
Yeah.
You probably loved the restaurant, but you had some close friends, good lifestyle.
Yeah, I loved it dearly. It allowed you to be creative, interact with other people, give them, a level of service. And there is a bit of an onstage aspect to being in front of people who are dining, which is another thing that I really like about that job. It's another thing that transitioned really beautifully to real estate too.
Absolutely. So tell us about, so now you're into real estate and you're cruising along. What is it about that industry and that role that fulfills something more in you than restaurant work did?
Yeah, I think that it was, I have to start by saying it didn't go great right away.
Yeah.
There were a couple of small successes there. I will say the first client that I ever had was myself and my wife.
Ooh.
It was selling our current home after maybe 2 years we lived there.
Okay.
And this was right around 2016 when the market really started to, take off. So we were our first clients.
And how were you as clients?
We were rotten people to ourselves. It's a challenge because you know how the sausage is made, right? So you can also go and book properties, not at a moment's notice, but we looked at 30 plus houses, which I guess isn't, in the grand scheme of things, based on my experience now, isn't an aggressive amount of homes. But it also meant that we weren't being terribly focused on what we wanted.
Yeah.
If you're looking at 30 different houses across the metro area with clients as a real estate agent, you need to have a very frank and candid discussion with them about what we're actually looking for. Yeah. I say this to clients frequently. I can hit a bullseye for you. You just can't move the board all over the metro area.
Yeah.
So it took a while. Real estate school and getting your licensure will teach you how to pass the test. It's what it's designed to do.
Yeah.
It is not designed to teach you any of the soft skills required. It does not teach you how to market yourself. So I really didn't know what I didn't know. And I joined up with a smaller team that was largely comprised of people who were already pretty well established.
Okay.
And they were using that team as sort of a place to have some shared branding and a little bit of shared marketing budget. And that was kind of it.
Okay.
I didn't really know how to go through that. So my wife and I were our first clients, and getting some of that success really started to help solidify in my mind that I had made a good decision to move into it.
Okay.
I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. It does. What, going back to your, the skills that you brought with you from your prior careers, what does that look like? What do you do in the client experience that you think sets you apart from other people?
What do I do that's different? I would say that it's a level of candor with people. I'm a big believer in vibe. You can call it what you want. You can call it, do you get along with those people? Do you connect with those people?
Yep.
But I literally believe, and this is a little bit of the hippy dippy kind of woo mentality that I subscribe to.
Which you're telling us candidly.
Yeah.
Yes. Love that.
Open book for sure. But the way that you vibrate when you walk into a room will attract people and it will repel others.
Yeah.
You are in control of how you're feeling in that moment, but the people who sort of gravitate towards you are there because they're on a similar wavelength, kind of literally. Yeah. So I find that candor, especially at the beginning, so that people know that I'm not here to sell you a house. I'm here to reveal to you or however many people are purchasing what the right house is. Yeah. And I say to people when we start looking, and this is buyer client specific, the process of looking at a home is really about finding out what you don't want.
Yeah.
Because you may have a list of wants and things that you have to have, non-negotiables. And I usually ask my clients to draw a line down the middle of a piece of paper and make a list of gotta haves.
Yeah.
Got to be in this school district, needs to be a certain distance away from work or no further than this. Price point, of course, bedroom, bathroom, all the basics. But then things that you want. Let's not deviate from everything you need. And let's find as many of these wants as we can.
Yeah.
And if we walk into a home and I think we can do better, I'm going to look at you and say, we can do better than this.
Yeah.
This isn't all that's available to you, regardless of your budget.
Yeah.
There are great homes in very, solid price points that are very attainable. There are also some absolute trash cans out there for $1 million plus.
Right.
So price doesn't necessarily dictate quality or what's important for you.
Mm-hmm. No, that's
I've
great.
actually, can I jump in on a related point to that?
Please.
When you were a server, I assume when you walk up to a table, you quickly get a sense of what that person needs from you in order to have a good time. How you have to modulate your personality. And
Yes.
I think that is similar in real estate. For each client, you have to modulate your personality that little bit. How far will you go, for someone who you don't immediately perceive as a great fit?
I've certainly worked with some of those people in the past where we aren't maybe we're not going to be best friends
Right.
at the end of the real estate transaction, which is different than keeping in contact with them.
Yeah.
Very different ideas there.
Sure.
But some people are very type A. Some people don't want the level of they're not buying based on an emotional perspective.
Right.
Now, many people are, but if you're working with an investor, for example, who's looking for a fourplex, they're probably not going to walk in and have an emotional response and see themselves celebrating a holiday or a birthday or bringing home a new child into that property.
Right.
That's not where they are. So now what they need is something that's a little bit more analytical, a little bit more financially focused, and they need that from you. And you need to be able to read that relatively quickly if you're going to get on their wavelength. It's all about mimicking and mirroring what those people need.
Right. Sure.
Yeah.
And that just shows in general how good Ryan is. Like his EQ is off the charts, but to understand, to be able to meet somebody and all of a sudden start to figure out their personality type from the get-go is really a skill. It's a skill that everybody should invest time into learning. You're exactly right. And if you try to sell the engineer on the fluffy emotional story, that's going to repel them.
Oh yeah, they're out.
They're out.
They're out.
Yeah, and same with, you know, D's to S's and I's to C's and whatever personality test you want to do. That if you listen to that is something that I would go and buy a book on and learn that as soon as possible.
Yeah. There's a bunch of different ways that what you really have to do is listen. And what took me a long time to learn, both in my personal life and in real estate, is to shut the hell up and let people reveal to you what they want, what they don't want, and what their motivations really are. People will give you everything if you just give them space to give it to you. Now, you can lead them with some important questions. You can get them to be a little bit more candid with you. Yeah. But if they don't feel like you're being candid with them, they can't reciprocate it back to you. It's not possible.
Right.
So they have to feel like you are there for them and with them and not there for you. The moment they feel like you are worried about your money, there's no getting it back.
Right. Well, and go ahead.
Well, just real quick, if we're talking about the DISC personality test, all 4 of those personalities require you to be a great listener.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it starts there. You got to listen, 75% of the time and talk 25% of the time because they will give you everything that you need.
Well, and it's that concept of listen to understand rather than listen to respond.
Yes.
So often in conversation, all we're doing is waiting for the other person to stop talking so we can say our next thing, which especially like in this context, I'm doing that. I'm going to be honest. But in that context, what you need to be doing is way more important that you hear what they're saying than you be ready to say what you're going to say next. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a gentleman. He's a mentalist. I don't want to call him a magician. I gave you his book.
Yeah.
About a month ago. His name is Oz Perlman. Really incredible book. I think it's called Read Your Mind.
It's a big yellow book.
Yeah,
yellow book.
Go pick it up. It's really impressive. There's also videos of him online. Really extraordinary stuff.
He was on 60 Minutes about a month ago.
Yeah,
Great too.
And he's got some really incredible tools where he's just watching people think. They're not communicating verbally. It's completely nonverbal communication. He's
cool.
asking them to think about like a PIN number for their bank card. And he'll ask questions, and based on the movement of their eyes, the dilation of their pupils, whether or not their breath catches, whether or not they glance away for a moment, informs where they're at. I think he was on the Joe Rogan podcast. I saw a clip, and he guessed Joe Rogan's PIN code to his bank card. And Rogan looked at him and said, I don't like that.
No.
This is very uncomfortable. Now that's a expert level of reading people.
Yep.
But it doesn't mean that some of those tools aren't available to you, and it doesn't mean that they can't be skills that are learned.
Yeah.
And I just quoted 60 Minutes, by the way, which did anyone catch that? Like
I did. That was wild.
That's my lifestyle, though. It's just, you get to that point of the day, one episode, and you go to bed. I go to bed at like 8:40, whether it's, some sort of murderous crime show or 60 Minutes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, murder shows are kind of our bread and butter. Our kids go to bed at like 9 o'clock, maybe 9:15.
Yeah.
And then we have about 45 minutes before we're both toast.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's usually a murder show. For those fans of The Simpsons, we call them Mur Diddly Erdler shows because that's just what we call them.
All right. So let me bring it back because
That's amazing.
Because Ryan is obviously an excellent salesperson. And we didn't even talk about sales. We talked about service. We talked about EQ. We talked about listening.
Yeah.
which all make up a great salesperson, but he's also a great marketer.
Yeah.
And that's like the double-edged sword in this business, that if you can be great at what you do, but then also be a great marketer, the sky's the limit. And that's the element that most people miss out. So we got to go this direction, because Ryan has built a database of, did you say 64,000?
Yeah.
64
on Facebook.
64 on Facebook. I think there's like 6,500 on Instagram, like 11K on TikTok, and a couple hundred on YouTube.
And there's no way you can get there without just being an incredibly consistent human being. And Ryan and I were talking about this a couple of years ago. I just said, you know homes really well, and you're able to articulate that on video. And I think it was 2 years ago. It was in the summer or whatever. And I'm like, just keep doing them every day.
Yeah.
And you had been doing them almost every day, I think, right?
Yep, pretty close.
Because now he's legitimately getting 500, 600
Now, I would say that the overall
interactions,
aesthetic
likes
of this home
on
here
his
by
posts
Stone Cottage
about,
Builders
like, going
is
through a
more
new
of that
construction basement and pointing out
Scandinavian
the
style,
hip-hop
which
right
works
now.
really well.
No
Obviously,
audio,
we're in
no
Minnesota.
audio.
Take a look outside.
I know that guy.
I mean, he knows houses very
I know
well.
for some of you,
But
you're
then he
probably going to say, well, it's
articulates
so
that
white.
value
It
to
doesn't
the
have a lot of
community.
personality. But
So
they have
he is
done
quite
a
literally
great
being
job
a
here by
lighthouse,
warming it up
which I talk about all
with
the
these
time.
solid maple
What's
floors
the
that bring.
formula? Like, what are you doing on those videos? Because they are absolutely prolific. They're awesome.
Yeah, it's I have to pause for a moment and give an overwhelming amount of credit to my wife,
Whoop, whoop.
who is, and this is not hyperbole. She's saved my life more than once.
Oh man.
But she was the one who said, "Hey, you're not shy. You do okay on camera, and you tend to like the sound of your own voice because you won't shut up. So maybe we could focus the lens a little bit, and maybe you should do some of this." So we started doing video probably close to 3 years ago. And it started as a very talking head type thing in a chair in our living room.
Okay.
And it was me delivering kind of dry, but what I felt was valuable real estate info.
Yep.
And we were getting some engagement, but it wasn't great. And I have to be honest in saying I wasn't being terribly authentic, which is the number one thing that a viewer online is really looking for.
Yeah.
It's an ocean of inauthenticity.
Yep.
So they're looking for somebody who they can, doesn't really matter if they agree with you. It's actually better if they don't
Yeah.
in terms of engagement. But the lever really flipped when we started going into homes, new construction homes in particular, and pointing out things that I thought were done well, things that I thought could be done better. I like this. I don't like this. By the way, if you like this, maybe this is something you could do in your next home, or if you're trying to get your home ready for the market,
Yeah.
this is a great thing to consider. And that's really where things started to take off.
Okay.
And she's behind the camera, right?
She is the camera woman. Listen, a lot of people who start thinking about exploring video content for real estate or any business spend a lot of time and energy and money getting ready to get ready.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't need an elaborate setup. To this day, we get about 1 million views a month across on Facebook alone with a Samsung Galaxy S24 and a wireless mic. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't need a lot of stuff. You just need to do it. Your video that doesn't have amazing lighting and where you maybe stumble a little bit over your words
Yep.
is going to beat the agent who didn't put anything out that day. So the consistency really grew from my wife saying, "Hey, we're going to go do this." She is to this day the one who shoots it all, edits it, pushes it out to all 4 platforms in the morning, still laying on the pillow
Really?
every morning.
Wow.
Now, you can't replicate that kind of commitment.
No.
That's if I had to pay a social media manager to do that kind of stuff, we'd be having a very different conversation.
Yeah.
But she's been
Well,
instrumental.
the best part is
That's
you
amazing.
can't criticize it. She posts it. You can't go back and be like, oh, delete it, or like,
No.
that wasn't a good video. She just posts it and gets it out. And that's a lesson right there too of you could schedule a post. Like you could time block your week and say for mornings, Mondays, I'm going to go and schedule all my posts for the week. You
Yeah.
film all your content, you put it out. It's in a similar way of what Ryan's doing with his wife. But what most people do is they sit there and they look at their face and they say, "Oh, I'm ugly today. I have lines on my face. I slurred. I said this. Oh, I don't like that. By the way, including myself,
Absolutely.
100%. I've gone through that, in my career.
Mhm.
That's most of the battle. Most of the battle is just getting over yourself in
Yeah.
that situation.
Get out of your own way and understand that you will never be comfortable.
Right.
This applies to a dozen different areas of your life.
Yes.
And you're never going to want to wake up at 6 a.m. and go to the gym. Your body will literally try to keep you in bed. Now, I say that not being the kind of person who goes to the gym at 6 a.m. Okay. So I understand that I'm talking a little out of the side of my mouth here, but your body is designed to keep you safe and comfortable.
Yeah.
Your mind is not designed to force you into a growth mindset.
Yeah.
Or do things that are uncomfortable or scary or where you may feel judged, especially by yourself.
Yeah.
So people will spend a lot of time and they'll delete the video or re-record it 15 times. Nobody cares or is going to be as critical of you as you are.
And no one remembers what you posted 3 days ago or what you wore,
No,
right?
not a chance.
Right.
The level of attention span for any level of content is so minuscule. People are not going to be noticing what you're wearing. They're not going to notice if you stumbled.
Right.
As a matter of fact, the videos that are often the most successful for us are the blooper videos.
Your bloopers are hilarious.
Well, I do what I can.
That was really smart of you too, because you were changing the speed of the frequency or of the topic, I should say.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, hey, I'm posting so many serious videos. Let me change the speed and show a blooper video, which then humanizes you, which I thought was really smart too. But anytime you have that many eyeballs on you, it actually not even close. Like if you had 1,000 people a month watching your stuff, you've got eyeballs on you.
Yeah.
He's got 1 million a month
Yeah.
eyeballs on him. You start to hear and see some of the criticism, right?
Yeah.
Which we can talk about all the benefits too, but I think another lesson that's built into this is how do you deal with the criticism? How do you deal with the haters that say, hey, what you said about that water heater is actually incorrect. It's this, and this, and this. Or like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because you had to
100%.
fight, you still to this day probably have to fight through that.
Yeah, I mean, depending on the video and depending on the level of engagement for that particular video, there will be people who are just there to, ruin your day.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're talking about, or who can afford this house? Well, that's not really the point.
Yeah.
And so I do my level best to respond to most of these people. Tamara is in my Facebook as much as I am. So she's doing a lot of the, I will say that all of that is authentic response. It's not like generated by anybody other than me or her.
Yeah.
But sometimes she'll respond and she's a little bit kinder than I would be. And sometimes I'll go in and edit her comment and say, if you feel that way, maybe don't buy the place.
Right.
Or, maybe you should do it differently with your real estate content. And this person is not a real estate agent at all. There's somebody from, wherever. So you can get your point across to some of those people who are being naysayers without being rude or condescending or getting into what I think is the biggest time suck in the world, which is a Facebook argument on your own content.
Yeah, right.
No
What
kidding.
a pointless. Yeah.
No, and the way that you respond maintains the engagement, and that's really all that matters anyway, right? I mean, whether they're the person that's going to reach out to you to buy or sell a home doesn't really matter as long as you're getting the views. Eventually, you're going to get in front of the people who do want to reach out.
And that's really where the proof happened, because we started really increasing visibility and followers and all of that stuff. And I was having people reach out to me who would say, hey, I don't know if you work with this price point.
Sure.
Of course I do.
Yeah.
Work with any price point.
Yeah.
I offer a lot of perspective on new construction because at this point, I have new construction builders reaching out to me and saying, hey, we're building a new model. Will you come and shoot this
Do
property?
your thing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's great. Super fun. Not only is it content for me, but it's content for them. So it's a very symbiotic kind of thing.
What do you think about some of the styles out there that decide to rip on the house? Or like this comedic satire approach that we're seeing on social media?
Well, I dipped my toe into that pool a little bit. And got a cease and desist letter.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, where they were like, "Hey, don't do that."
Yeah.
So being negative will get engagement,
Right.
but you're really eroding from the inside out your level of efficacy. How many people are actually going to reach out to you? Which, by the way, is the goal
Right.
of all of
That's
this
the whole point.
content. So people will engage with derision, but they're not going to reach out to you because of it.
Right.
So you really have a decision to make. Now, my decision was pretty easy. I got a phone call from my broker at that time, and they said, "Hey, that 2 weeks worth of content that you put out that had, and some of the videos individually had 1 million+ views, and they were like, "Hey, go pull that stuff down."
Yeah.
I mean, the other great part about the social media aspect of things and why I think it's so beneficial for me and anybody who's looking to market, particularly in the real estate world, is that it is evergreen content.
Yeah.
There are videos that continue to get tons of views that got recorded 1.5 years ago
Wow.
or 2 years ago. It's out there forever. You can also go back and reference it. It's just an incredibly useful tool, and it's about staying in front of people, not so that they'll reach out to you because of that one video, but because if they think about real estate and they live in this metro area or anywhere, somebody's relocating here. I've had 3 people come to me directly because they're moving to this area, and they're watching these videos from Oklahoma or Baltimore.
Yeah.
It's useful stuff.
Yeah, if you're an agent looking for, I'll call them layup referrals, listen to what Ryan is saying.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to get a referral from someone that is relocating here? Those are some of the best clients, by the way.
100%.
Absolutely.
And where this comes from is that he has been the expert for years. He is the voice. He is the authority. He, in a lot of the millions of people that watch your stuff, they don't see anybody as consistent as you. They don't see anybody putting that content out. And in their minds, you're the expert. And that's
Yeah.
the other goal of marketing is you want your audience to understand that you are the expert so that when they're ready to go, time meets need,
Mhm.
that you're the guy, right?
Yeah, it's about making sure that you are being a quiet authority, and not quiet in terms of your content or the tone of it necessarily.
Yeah.
But if you demand I demand you view me as the expert,
Right.
you've lost the plot entirely. So you need to just be able to create so much consistent value and info that if people think about real estate, they can't not think about at least reaching out to you or asking you a question, or even asking something on that particular post that can then sometimes lead to a private message, to a conversation, to a, "Hey, I saw this video a while ago. We're actually looking to move. We're finally ready. Great. I've been waiting."
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I love that. We are running a little low on time, so I think we should maybe skip the real estate topics and just go right to the checking out the pictures, unless you want to talk about one of those. Parker, you good?
No, you're in charge.
All right. Excellent.
Second week.
Did you?
in a
I'm sorry.
row.
Did
Yeah.
everybody hear
Yeah.
that? That was an important.
write that
moment.
down.
Yeah.
Second week in a row, the conversation's been so good.
I know.
That's what it's about.
That is amazing. I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us, Ryan.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Now stick around so we can. This is the goofball part, and so you'll enjoy this.
That's my favorite.
I figured
I'm
you would
ready.
say so. Yes. Okay. So this is the part at the end of the show where we take a look behind the curtain at our Pemberton real estate culture, which we enjoy very much. One of our longest standing client appreciation events is our Pictures with Santa event. This year, we had the honor of hosting Santa and Mrs. Claus. So we're going to check out some of the pictures featuring our agents and staff. And then as we do, Parker, I'm going to ask you questions about those agents. Okay?
Okay.
Sounds
well,
good.
The first one, I couldn't resist. Here it is.
Oh, do you know what dog that is?
The best boy.
That is the best. That's Baker.
That's Brandon's dog, yeah.
Yep. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question about. So this is Brandon Foster's dog. If you had to guess, would you guess that Brandon would rather receive money or gifts for Christmas?
Gifts.
Gifts. All right, excellent. I don't know what the answer is. I just want to know what you think.
My whole childhood, I have 3 brothers, and so we would literally just sit in a circle and trade gift cards to each other. So we'd all spend $20, and one guy would get like Best Buy, the other one would get Target, and when we were like 16, we're like, this is just so pointless. We should just not do this. So that's where that I don't know.
That's perfect. That's a great answer. All right, Nick, what you got next?
Here he is.
Oh, so this is Austin Hardy and his lovely family. Okay,
I mean,
Parker.
Carson has a smile,
I know.
Yeah.
which normally your first Christmas with 2 random older people next to you is scary.
Yeah.
So I'm impressed.
I'm pretty sure in the photo that was next to this one in the gallery, Carson does not look as happy.
Oh, okay.
But this one, she looks thrilled.
It's
Okay.
all about the one.
If you were Austin Hardy, would you imagine Austin would rather have a hot Christmas with no snow or a cold, snowy Christmas? Based on what you know of
can
Austin.
you just like leave cold out of it and like just have a snowy,
Sure.
like snowy
Yes,
and
you can.
30, like
Yes.
would be ideal.
Okay, fine.
I'm just gonna say that because
Fine.
Austin's he's a disciplined, tough guy, and
I think he's more of a snow guy than a desert guy.
yeah, when he gets to be our age, he'll probably switch.
Well,
I
he
love
did
when you
get
say our
married.
age. As
Yeah,
if
well,
that
we're
is-
in that,
That
like,
makes me
same-
so happy.
if you're within the same decade, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Parker is the youngest person at this table.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Austin did actually get married in the Caribbean, though. So
Ooh.
he is
very cool.
he's a
That's
he's a
great
tropical
point.
dude. Oh no, sorry, Florida. But that's
Same thing.
close enough.
It's whatever. Yeah.
No, it's not. Close enough.
The weather is similar.
All right, Nick. Who's next? Aww.
Adorable.
So this is Aaron and Deanna looking
Mm-hmm.
adorable. Okay. Would you guess that they would rather spend all day watching movies or sledding? That's a tough one.
That is tough.
First of all, if you don't have kids, movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just have to assume that that's the answer. I
That's
don't know. If you have kids, probably sledding, because my kids
Yeah.
can't sit through a movie. But
Yeah. Certainly not a day of them. Can your kids sit through a day of movies?
No, not a whole day of them.
Yeah.
No.
No.
you get like a quarter of the way through Monsters Inc. and one is out. You know, I've seen that legitimately 500 times.
Just the first quarter?
No, I
Or
mean
you get to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, you watch it.
Excellent. I love Monsters Inc. All right. Who's next?
Kelties.
All right.
Oh, TK and his adorable family. Okay, do you think TK is a bigger fan of decorating Christmas trees or Christmas cookies?
Tree.
Yeah, tree.
Yeah,
I think so too.
they're festive. He's gonna go all out in anything he does, and I know that about him.
Yeah. Plus, he was all
He's
in.
probably on the roof line stapling lights to the
He does
fascia of
seem
the
like
house.
that
Full,
guy.
full Griswold.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I actually just got told that I am Clark Griswold by my partner. She's like, do you know what? That's you. I'm like, oh God.
Are you a
Yeah.
try-hard, Nick?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Liz will tell you.
Same.
Oh, I love that. All
Try
right.
hard and a little neurodivergent, I think.
In the sweetest possible way.
All right, what's next? Here we go. Jeff.
Ooh, Jeff
Noblezas.
Nobleza. Love that. Okay, do you think Jeff is a cut a real Christmas tree guy or a bring out the fake tree guy?
Ooh,
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Oh, well, if you know Jeff, I think this answer could be all over the board.
Yeah.
He's a really funny guy.
He is
If
funny.
you get to know him, he's hilarious. I don't know.
I can kind of see him out there. He wears boots a lot.
I don't think he wants to screw around.
Okay.
We could maybe put like $10 on this because I'd love to know the answer to it.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna say fake.
Nobleza,
I'm gonna
we
say
need to
fake
know.
tree.
Okay, fake tree.
He'd rather like just be hanging out on the couch. I
I'd
think.
say fake tree for Jeff as
I
well.
say real tree.
Maybe we're wrong.
I think.
I
you're
think
wrong.
earlier in his life he cut the real tree down and learned his lesson.
I don't know what that means. It sounds scary. What's next?
Well, I've done that too. And you put the tree in. We put it in the back of an SUV and ended up with a bunch of bugs in the car. So we're like, well,
You
don't.
can't put the tree inside the vehicle.
Or the cat climbs up the tree and bats the ornaments out of it, and then
Okay,
you
but-
step on one at 11 p.m.
Yeah, no, that's bad. Have you done the thing where you cut down the tree and then they put it in the shaker to shake the bugs out?
No.
That is the funniest damn thing I have ever seen. We go to the same.
Earth.
They do exactly for that reason. They're like, sometimes there's some critters living in there, so you gotta shake it. And so they put it in this. It's a real thing.
Pretty
I
smart.
have a video.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go.
Oh, that's okay. So we have Mora and Antonio and their adorable girls.
Minas.
The Minas. Do you think the Minas are... Ooh, this is an interesting one. Do you think they are ice fishing people or ice skating people?
Skating.
I think skating too.
Yeah, I don't think there's any. Oh, I got Ryan. I don't think there's any choice about it. It's definitely skating.
Excellent. All right.
All right, here we go.
Can we just go straight to 15?
You like 15?
I just saw the word eggnog.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, this one we can get an answer
Carter's
for.
family.
Yeah,
Okay.
we actually know the answer to.
Because it's Carter and the very, very sweet Eloise, who is
Oh.
just...
Oh,
Carter, I
How'd
feel
she
like
do there?
Eloise has only two speeds. She's either that face or just the giantest smile you've ever seen.
Yeah, we were struggling a little bit. Once we got a cookie, that was fine. So.
Yeah. Good. Eggnog or hot cocoa?
Hold on, Parker's got to guess first.
Oh.
probably hot cocoa, but you got to be a pretty special person to like eggnog. I'm just saying. So there is a story to that. When we were growing up, four boys in the family. Dad's a realtor. He's like, these kids are drinking so much milk because we were a milk family. Were you a milk family?
Yeah, I mean, we had it for dinner, but there was certainly a point where it was like not a beverage that I haven't had a glass of milk. In,
Either
I
have
don't
I.
even- I don't even know what would happen to me if I just
Yeah.
have a nice
tell
tall
It's like
glass of
disgusting.
2%.
Yeah.
Can I tell you how weird that is for the rest of the world? Coming to the Midwest, I went out to my buddy's house who lives in Wisconsin a couple years back, and we sit down for dinner, and it's like roast chicken, and they just bust out a gallon of milk. And I'm like, what are you doing? They're like, this is what we do every day for every meal. I'm
Yeah.
like, really? That's weird to the whole rest of the world.
Yeah.
Dairyland is, yeah.
Comes out of the taps.
Yeah,
Just a nice cold glass at 2%. Yeah. But my
Right?
we had I think Kemp's back in the day would deliver these crates of milk. That it was a square box that had 12 cartons in it, and during Christmas time, they would slip one eggnog carton in there. So when it would show up, my brothers and I would take the eggnog. We'd go to the garage. We would drink it, and they would throw it in the trash. And my parents are always like, "Well, where's the eggnog? We ordered one eggnog." And we would just house the thing. So like, just the other day, we're in the brothers group chat, and my brother's he lives in New York City, and he's got this glass of eggnog in a wine glass, which we always laugh about. It's like also like 600 calories per 4 ounces too.
Yeah, it's it's not. I don't think it's designed for adults. Now, my boys who are 12 and 10 love eggnog. Do they? Yeah. This time of year is a glass of hot cider or eggnog. And that's what they want, particularly when they get off the bus. They're like, "Yeah, eggnog it up," and I'll have a little taste because I used to really enjoy it when I was a kid.
It's awesome.
I wasn't shotgunning it in the garage, but yeah, like I had a sip and I'm like, "That's not pleasant."
That's
I don't
not.
want that.
That's not good.
Carter, what's the answer?
I'm a big milk guy. I'm going to eggnog.
Oh.
Wow.
Eggnog for Carter.
Quick Trips rolled it out, by the way, so it's on the shelves
Oh yeah,
if you want to pick it up.
that's right. All right, Nick, will you
We
pull?
got three more.
Oh, 3 more. Okay, sure.
Yeah?
Go for it.
Okay.
Aw, John Hodnett and his adorable corgi and the family. Do you think John would rather spend Christmas with a stranger or spend Christmas alone?
Oh.
I like that.
Those are
question.
the only choices.
Those are the only
Jeez.
choices. If you had to pick one of those two things, stranger or alone,
Well,
100% alone.
Yeah, alone. He's got a huge family and tons of friends. He's
Well, I'm not
you know.
suggesting that John's gonna do this.
who wrote these?
I don't know. Somebody online. I didn't write them.
Somebody from a different brokerage or us?
It's not a real estate specific. Would you rather?
Okay.
All right. Who's next? Oh, Junker.
Yeah.
She posted this on her Facebook and said, "You're never too old to sit with Santa."
That's
No.
true.
Okay. Do you think Nicole?
Agent number 1,
Agent
Pemberton
numeral?
real estate number
Yeah.
1,
Love that.
2014.
Do you think Nicole is more likely to win a
15.
snowball fight or win an ice skating race?
Snowball fight.
Yeah.
I can't imagine her skating.
Yeah, no, she's a beast, man.
Yeah.
She'd take you out with the snowballs.
Yeah.
I actually, she said to me yesterday, how are you going with my video? And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, I haven't got a chance to start it yet. And she goes,
She shot you the daggers. I think the better question is, would she be the one to start or finish the snowball fight? Both.
finish.
Finish.
Like,
Yeah.
end
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
No, I respect her steel.
All right, what's our last one?
Well, you
I
have-
know.
Ta-da!
Oh,
Hey.
look, it's you and your cute family.
Yeah.
Yay.
So our little gingerbread man there is Graham,
Adorable.
15 months. Harrison decided to show up as Sonic,
Sure.
and he's wearing John Deere shoes.
I love that.
They have red and yellow lights every time he takes a step.
Heck yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. We were coming back from basketball one day, and he sees DSW, and he's like, can we go just take a look? And we go in there, and they're like $29, and he's like, I want these. All right. So he's been ripping those for a while, but
Nice. I love
That's
that.
amazing.
what's the question?
There's no question. I just wanted to show your family.
Yeah, they do well in these situations. I've been calling Santa for the last like 90 days.
Yeah.
And just so you guys know that I'm for real here. So there's a hotline.
This is parenting advice from Parker.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is good or
You
bad,
put it up
but
to the put it up to the mic.
just says Santa.
Merry Christmas! This is Santa Claus, and he
Okay, so it's like a hotline, right?
Yeah.
And so anytime Harrison acts up, I call Santa and I say, "Hey, Santa, I hate to call you again. This is really tough, but Harrison's not being nice to his brothers, and I don't know what to do about it. I want him to get presents for Christmas, but if he keeps acting this way," and then he just goes back. He goes into like chore mode, and
Yeah.
he'll clean up his toys. He'll be nice to his brothers.
We did something similar, and both of our boys are kind of at that point now where they understand. But
Yes.
we've got a large ornament on the tree, and it's got a little camera on the front of it. It's not real. We're not filming the inside of our house. I think that's a little unusual.
Yeah.
But it says Santa Cam on it. And I will go into the Alexa, and you can type on your phone and have her say through the Alexa whatever you want her to say. So as soon as we put the tree up, I'll type in and have her say, Santa Cam version 3.0 now active on all floors of my address. So these boys are like,
He's watching.
We're being watched. And if I hear them down in the playroom, because the lower level is their domain,
Yeah.
I go down there to make sure no one's bleeding, pick up dishes, and the inevitable mountain of socks that are just laying down
Put
there.
furnace filters in, maybe.
Yeah, 100%. I've got an Alexa reminder for that. Put a new furnace filter. But if I hear them starting to, pound on one another,
Yeah.
because they're best friends right up until they want to tear one another's face off.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'll just cue into the Alexa and say, Santa Cam activated in playroom. And it gets real quiet real fast.
That is absolutely your next step. You
Yeah,
hear this,
for
right?
sure.
Oh, it works really well.
Yeah.
Highly recommend.
They run down every morning and say, "Hey Alexa, play a Milk and Cookies song," and then, "Hey Alexa, level 10," and it's just blazing
Shakes
through the
the whole
house.
house.
Yes. That's great. I think we're gonna try.
It's a
that.
good one. Emotional manipulation is the gift that keeps on giving for the holidays.
Gentle emotional.
You got to teach those kids.
If anyone wants the Santa hotline, just text me.
Text
I'll,
Parker.
I'll send.
He'll
I'll
get you
share
that
the
number.
contact. Yeah.
NORAD actually has a Santa app
Yeah.
on Christmas Eve. I think it might just be a website, but you can go and see where Santa is.
We
on
do
the
that.
globe.
My kids
that's
love
cool.
that.
Fun.
Yeah.
That's great. All right. Well, on that incredibly poignant note, that is it for today's episode of No Contingencies. If you got value from this conversation, take a second to share it with another agent who's serious about growing in this market. And if you're looking for a brokerage that's forward-thinking, accountability-driven, and built for the next chapter, we should talk. Thanks for listening. Now get out there and make something happen.